So we're going to change the channel to the main meat of this free for all, which is what we talked about earlier in this episode a little bit. And Melissa gave us a hint on her shirt.
The pudding?
Our good friend, Mr. Aron Eisenberg, as you know, left us a day before we were to begin reviewing season 2. And so as of today, we've done an entire season without him. And we're now beginning the next one. And it kind of made us want to like reflect on, you know, just like the last 7 months in the show. And we're talking about how we think and hope that he would have enjoyed where the show's going, and how all of you guys are always so supportive and friendly with one another, not just with us, but like you guys are sharing all of your side projects. And I know when Melissa gets her store up and running, she's going to need to have a lot of bandwidth because everybody's going to jump on it. I just wanted to go around the proverbial room or the whatever this is, virtual room, and just kind of share any kind of Nog or Aron story that you want, whether it's just something that you hadn't mentioned before, or it's a funny memory or something. Like, for example, I know that Melissa has been kind of practicing her baking like everybody else, that they're stuck at home. And it kind of made me think, like, what was there something specifically that Aron liked the most that you cooked or baked? And was there something specifically that he just hated, like that he did not like that you made?
No, he never disliked anything that I made, but it would frustrate him because sometimes I don't follow a recipe. And so I wing it. And when I make something really good, he's like, "Oh, you got to make this again." And I'm like, if I can remember how I made it.
Can I ask, was Aron also, you're vegan, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm vegetarian.
Was Aron also vegetarian?
No, he was
not.
Mm-mm. But
would you cook him non-vegetarian food?
No, he wouldn't make him meat. But he was also good at trying vegetarian stuff as well. And he could cook too. He was a good cook.
He made eggs a lot, didn't he?
He made eggs a lot. He made pasta a lot. And then he started making these little tacos. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, these are so good."
What would he put in his taco?
His little street tacos with carne asada, beef. And he was like, "These are better than the restaurants. Why do I need to go out now? These are so good." Yeah.
Tacos are the best. They really are.
Tacos are great.
Let's have a Taco Tuesday or Taco Thursday. We should all come out with our tacos, because you can make some great vegetarian tacos too for our veggies out there.
Yeah.
And you know what I love on my taco is avocado. Love avocado on my tacos. Gotta have it.
Tofu tacos.
But I think we should do that.
I love Mexican food, so I'm in for whatever. Let's talk about it a little bit. Yvette, do you have any Aron or Nog thoughts that you just want to throw out there? You can also pass if anybody just wants to listen.
I don't know if I have a story, but I know that when I first got on here, I tried to. I'm not big on conventions. I just went to my first convention last year. I started going because I'm in law enforcement, so I don't like crowds, and I always need to be near the door. I was in the military, so I don't like all of that. And then my friends talked me into it, and they kind of put me in the back. They set up the booth in the back, so I was good with that. And then I went to Vegas. I was with you guys, but I kept walking around. I was like, should I say something? I was like, I can't go over and talk to these people. I don't know these people. But then unfortunately, when Aron passed away, I came on and I was so upset with myself for not saying something and saying hello, because I really wanted to say hello, but I just felt ridiculous, saying something. I didn't really know you guys. But that's the one thing I regret, is that I didn't get to say hello to him and let him know how because when In the Pale Moonlight came on, I was in the military. I had just gotten out, and I was in Bosnia, so I was injured over there. And I deal with a lot of PTSD even now. So Star Trek is that thing that kind of helps me out. Star Trek and running, because I get anxious now just even talking about it. But he helped a lot, because that story, the DS9 story, is very valid to vets. I don't know if you're not a vet, if you are a vet, you get that. We've been through that war situation, that not knowing that you sometimes feel like a coward, because if you're not there, you feel like a coward. Then when you go to the box, as we call it, you're scared to death, but you have to do what you have to do. And then you see things that you never thought you would see other human beings do to human beings. It's just, and then you have to come home and deal with it like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. like it was all just a movie or dream, and you were living in that, and then you
exactly. And then right after I got better, 9/11 happened.
Ugh.
And I work for the federal government, so I work in New York City, and I was there that day, so that just made it even worse. So and it's those days where you could just be having a great day, and then all of a sudden that one day becomes so like you're watching a television show. Like 9/11, if I think about it, or if something comes to trigger, I can play that whole day from beginning to end. The clearness of the sky, the sounds, and it's the same thing when I was in Bosnia. Certain days where I can just hear everything. And the only show that really got it, I think, was DS9, when it was those last 10 episodes. All of that stuff, because I work in a lot of different places with the military, where I was on the ground and I was in the back. So I saw a lot of that. So it helped a lot. And I really wanted to talk to him about that. But I'm like, he's an actor. Does he really know? But after he passed away, I said, I really should have said something, because then he would have understood how he really helped, just the character, playing it well. I'm sure he's never been through that, but he played that character very well, and it helped a lot of vets, because we talk about it a lot in our meetings. Vets love Star Trek. We talk about it a lot. When I first went in, we used to always have our little novels. We would read out little novels when we go to basic training, So, Star Trek is everything to a lot of vets. So, I wish I would have said something to him, honestly. I do regret. That's a big regret that I have.
Melissa, Aaron would always say that people would tell him that kind of stuff, like all the time, very specific stories, similar, and he loved it every time, right?
He loved engaging with vets and talking to them, and how it helped him. And he would often say that he didn't approach it as playing he had PTSD, but he drew from experiences in his own life, dealing with kidney issues from a very young age. And so he just approached it as honestly as he could, as any human being would approach a traumatic experience.
Right.
And he would have loved to talk to you. It would not have been silly, and he would have spent hours talking to you, even if there was a long line waiting to talk to him. He would take that time and talk to you, because he appreciated the work that you did too. And it filled him up in a way that I can't explain. That he would have loved to talk to you.
You better stop, Melissa.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, he would have. He always seemed and said that he was so moved by it. Like, he never got used to it. Like, it wasn't like sometimes some actors go like, we've heard stories where they're like, oh yeah, I've heard this story before, but he never. Yeah, right. He never got jaded. Every single time he appreciated it, was moved by it.
Yeah, and I also want to add to that. When he gets a chance to hear stories like the one you tell, I think he got his own strength from hearing those stories. I think it made him feel just as much comfort as you felt from watching the episodes. I think he gained comfort from knowing that it helped people, and that was his greatest joy. I think the greatest compliment that he could receive as an actor was knowing that somebody like you, Yvette, was touched by his performance, and it was real to you, just like it was real for him. So I think that's one of his greatest compliments. He always lit up when somebody said that's what it meant to them.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a tough act to follow. No, that's really good. And I think the reason we're just telling you this stuff, Yvette, is because not to be like, oh, you should have told him, and because you already feel that way, but just to know that he would have definitely received it well, and he would have definitely not just received it well, but appreciated that you told him and appreciated what you've done, and he would have been very happy had you done it. It's okay that you didn't.
Yeah, and my story is a little similar to Yvette's in the sense that it's a regret moment. And that is, Melissa, you remember this. Aron was asking me to go to do that convention that they have in Hawaii with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to get the chance to go and do that. I thought it was going to be great to be able to, do a convention with just the two of us and be in Hawaii of all places. I thought we were going to have a great time. But I was up for this role, for this really important role that I wanted. And the film date was coinciding with this convention date. And I told Aron I can't make it. And I told the people at the convention that I couldn't make it because I was worried about it conflicting with this movie. And in hindsight, he passed away before that convention ever happened, and I don't know. I just felt like if I had accepted it, and maybe things would have changed. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just feel like I should have done that convention with him.
You at least lucked out in that you went down to Comic-Con with him just 2 months prior, right? And you had that great rebonding time with him.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was going to be the last time, but
that was the
last time I would spend time, with him at a convention.
Well, there was Star Trek Las Vegas, but it was a short amount of time.
At his table, so.
Yeah. Yeah. But I cherish those moments, and that last creation convention was, special for me for that purpose.
Anne-Marie, the Encyclopedia of Star Trek.
There's so many, I think everything was so cherished. And I know I've talked a lot about it anyway on the show, but I do have to say, he was already such an amazing person to me and such an amazing Star Trek character. And when I met him, well, first of all, I have it screenshotted when he welcomed me to the No J Consortium, which was so special. But I used to text him because then after he started doing that, where if you became a Patreon, he would send you a special message. I would then see it pop up on Facebook and other groups that he never saw that were Nog just welcomed me to his Patreon page, and it just made my commute. And so every time I saw that, I'd screenshot it to him and be like, "See, you just made all these people's day." He just touched so many lives in even such minor ways that really made us all smile. And I know I've said it before, but I was also just so impressed when I got to Las Vegas and I literally had met him a second, and he was on his way upstairs with Melissa to go to bed, and I overheard him asking, I think Homer and John to make sure that I got back to my room okay, and it just was it really speaks so highly of him as a human that he was always making sure everybody around him was always very safe and secure and having a good time. It was just very touching.
Do you remember that, Homer?
I do.
Nice.
Which was lucky, because Homer and John were very good bodyguards.
Yeah, they were awesome. Do you want to go next, Homer?
Not really.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
I can. These are tough acts to follow. For me, I guess it's going to be more on the side of regret as well. So I got to spend a lot of time in Vegas with him, and we're kind of going back and forth about when I might be able to join them for dinner. Dinner didn't end up happening because I had something else that conflicted with it. So there was a lunch or brunch at the Hash House. It was this big group there. So not exactly a vegetarian type of place, really. The regret is that I didn't get something personalized from him. We had lots of conversations. I almost felt like I was stopping by his table too often. But now I'm wishing that I had actually stopped by more often. And he talked about the seventh rule poster, and it was like that big. I was like, oh, it's too big, because he was all set to sign that. I was like, no, it's too big. Now, of course, I'm wishing that I had done that, and I have to get the door. Excuse me.
Okay.
Well, I
Rex?
do have to say, I got a poster because I was getting a bracelet for Melissa, and it was like the 1 second that Aron didn't have somebody talking his ear off. So he signed a poster, but Ciroc, of course, wasn't there. So I'll have to bring it back.
Of course.
Yes, Ciroc was there about 30 seconds.
That's weird. Must have been a bathroom break.
You didn't see the sign on my table? I'll be back at some point.
No, James Jerry was like, yeah, I don't know the last time I saw him.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Homer, was there more to that story?
Yeah. So then I'm going to put it in the other side of things, and something that I really, really enjoyed was playing World of Warcraft with him when we had the gaming tier. And he's like sending me a message through Discord saying, hey, are you free? I have this time here if you'd like to join up. And I had some missions with my character, or Toon, I guess. I'm not sure what the cool kids say. And he had this high-level healer. I think it was Nurse Ratched, which is sort of based on you guys
the other
know.
Nurse Ratched?
Yeah.
Well, Ratched instead of Ratchet, I think.
Ratchet.
So, so Louise Fletcher,
Ratchet.
her character.
Yes, we just watched that movie.
And he's using all these terms like, we got to get you geared up. I was like, I don't even know what that means. It's your Heart of Azeroth level. I was like, And then we're in these conflicts and stuff. Okay, follow the tank. Go where the tank goes. Okay, don't draw aggro or something. And then he's typing on his keyboard like super loud. Almost, well, actually, as loud as my wife does, which is loud.
Gosh. It would be like bang, 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 bang,
It's
bang.
amazing. It's so loud. I was like, wow, he must go through keyboards like nobody's business.
I remember
I enjoyed that. And I think I said this before, but he's like, oh, is it bothering you? I could mute myself if you want. Like the noise from his keyboard was bothering you that much. It wasn't, but it was really, really nice that he.
You could always tell when he was like really furiously going at something in a battle, because he was just like,
when
you'd
he's
hear it just get louder.
healing people, it's like, yeah. And I died a couple times because he had to keep the tank alive. But that's fine.
I can't believe I forgot that. Oh,
yeah. Loud
Heather?
typer.
That's good.
Very loud.
Yeah.
Heather, do you have something to share besides his loud? It sounds like Melissa's laughing because she heard his loud typing.
She
All
knows
the
a lot about
time.
that loud typing.
We share an office, and when he was playing World of Warcraft, especially, yeah, it'd be like, babe, simmer down now, simmer down. But yes, loud typer.
Heather, do you have something you'd like to?
oh man, I like, it's so hard to pinpoint one specific thing. Like, I mean, I just remember my most precious memories are honestly like when I get on the videos with you guys, and like you would start, messing with me or making fun of my background or something silly, and I just remember like all those moments. But I did go back and look at one message I sent to Aron on my Facebook Messenger, and I'm going to read it verbatim.
Nice.
I said, I was going to tell you earlier that you calling me Jordan isn't as bad as when I keep calling you Nog. Since your name is Nog in Discord, I keep saying it. And he just sent me like 3 crying emojis because I kept referring to him as Nog in Discord. And I'm like, it's not Nog, it's Aron.
So was that his way of getting back at you, calling you Jordan?
I don't think he even noticed me calling him Nog, but he called me Jordan. I think it was on a phone call. He was like, "Oh, Jordan." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But, like, because he called me a couple times just to talk about the Seventh Rule stuff. And it was just like, always like, he was just so always concerned to make sure that everyone like was like, that it was just always going good. Like he never wanted anything to go wrong. He never wanted people to like ever get like, offended or anything. And so like, that's just what I tell people now is that, and I say the same for you and Ryan, or Sirach and Ryan, is that Aron never made me feel like a fan. He never made me feel like I wasn't as, famous as him or big as him. Like he talked to me just always like I was part of the team. And that's what I love about the Seventh Rule is there isn't that, I'm the fan, I'm the producer, and you guys are just, or I'm sorry, that you guys are the producer and I'm the fan. It was never that relationship.
Aron used to do that, by the way, with everybody. So he didn't talk to the producers like they were the producers. He didn't talk to the other actors like they were another actor. He was straight across the board, talked to everybody the same way. Didn't matter who you were. If he wanted to lay you on with a joke or pull your card, he'd pull your card. Didn't matter who you were.
Even though I'm still like, I'm hanging out with the cool boys on the promenade. But I do have to say also, like, the first time, one of the first things I started, like, annoying Ryan about in all my messages was every time Aron would talk about Melissa and what Melissa thought during episodes on Alpha Quadrant, I thought what was always missing from that show was having Melissa come on herself and tell us what she was thinking during all the episodes, because it was just so adorable when Aron would, like, talk about all of your responses and what you said that made him think more. So one of the first things I started nagging Ryan about was, we need to have Melissa on the show. Like, so it's always very lovely to have you on.
And I was always like, no,
stop
asking me. No. I said no.
We weren't even reading
her. But that's a good point, because Aron would always say, Melissa brought up a good point, and she was watching the episode, and she thought this, and I kind of think that too. And he would always do that. I love that about him.
Yeah. His mom says the same thing. She would say, he'd call me up and tell me about a problem he's having, and then he was like, well, Melissa says the same thing, so maybe I should listen.
But,
it was so sweet to listen.
You were like his conscience. You're always there.
My shoulder saying this.
It was secretly Melissa talking to everybody online.
I love the two of you together, by the way, Melissa. I thought you brought out just the best in Aron, and it was so good, the chemistry between the two of you guys. You made him less of a jerk.
Huge jerk that he was.
That's so sweet. Aww.
Was that sweet? No, because he sometimes could just push your button sometimes. But Melissa, you softened him up, and you made him really. I just thought you guys were a perfect couple, and you were so cute together. I really enjoyed watching you guys together.
Well, thanks.
Where's your Melissa, Sirach? You need one.
I'm still looking for her.
That's interesting.
Rex?
I'm still looking
I don't think he got
Melissa.
that.
Save us, Rex.
Please, Rex, something. Say something.
So we will be advertising the number later for any.
Not that.
Ladies want to apply.
Oh, you didn't get the part where she called him a jerk.
Cutting to my Negus, my grand
that was
Negus.
just a little subtle shade, just a little bit, but it was a joke.
I caught it though. New York, I got you.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're ready. We're ready for you, Rex.
So there it is.
I mean, you know, my story
I
is
love
real
you.
similar to Yvette's story, except on the other swing towards fire department, stuff like that, and with my losing both my legs. And that's probably how I really got connected with Aron a little bit more, because I sent in a text or an email to him, and he actually replied. And you know, that sometimes doesn't happen with celebrities. You know, somebody else is doing their stuff for them, and he asked me a lot of questions. And of course, you know, the actual episode came up, and we talked about that, and I told him how much that he how well he did with that, how he portrayed, you know, somebody losing their leg, you know, and what you go through, thinking that you're useless, thinking that you don't belong anymore, that parts of your body are missing, you know. And it was really a good conversation with him about that. But he was always concerned. He would always ask me how I was doing, because we talk about phantom pains. Okay, and phantom pains are one of those things that anybody that loses a limb lives with the rest of their lives. So you still feel like it's there. Just like if you know in the episode, he did the same thing. He had the pain. The other thing that we talked about is how in the episode, you know, the doctors didn't believe him that he had the pain. It was all in his head, you know, and where it's a real thing, where you know, phantom pains are a real thing. So we talked a lot about that. The things that I regret the most is I never got to meet him in person, you know, but you felt like you did. That's the weirdest thing, is that if you did meet him in person, just by talking to him, you know, he would make you feel like you had met 1,000 times, you know. Yeah. The other thing I regret is not getting to play the games with him, because since I wasn't into games so much, he would constantly be going, I got to find time to play with you. We got to find time to do this. I'll even play something really simple, you know, and things like that. If we never got together like that. But he's like, you know, I can, you know, we'll do something really easy for you. And I'm like, I'm just not a video game person. And he just always was concerned, since I am a patron, that he was spending time. Okay. And I think that was with all of us. We all realized that he was really concerned that all the patrons were getting time with him. You know, I always felt like that. You'd always see that in him, was that I want to make sure that each person feels like they're getting some time with me. So those are some great things about him. Mm-hmm. You know, I have the picture back here that I told you my friends in Las Vegas did, since I couldn't be there. They took the little mask of me and put it over their face and stood with him in a picture to make sure that I was actually in a picture with him. And so I have this great wall that has Aron's stuff on it. And that's probably the centerpiece there, is that I got to be with him somehow. And that's how it was done. So it's great. It's great. Absolutely. Yep. So that's my stuff.
Well, also something I want to say, Rex A. Wood, is thank you for your service very much. Yvette Blackman, thank you so much for your service. And
Cat R. King.
That's right, which brings us to Cat R. King. Number one, thank you for your service. And would you like to tell us a story?
I think everyone covered it. It's all good. We're good.
Wow, you guys made Cat speechless.
That's good.
That's a first. Well, well, I can tell you that he loved you a lot, Cat, because when we were looking for our Trek techs, he's like, dude, you know Cat R. King? I was like, oh yeah, maybe. He's like, she's gonna be at the DS9 documentary thing. She's gonna be there. You gotta, you know. So he was really excited for us to meet.
I'll say this. That was so.
All right,
my favorite moment from that was just when we were talking about Sirocco sharing the story about his first convention at Grand Slam, and my friend Alan and I were up there sitting right behind Rod, and like we were right behind them, being so obnoxious. And then because Aron, you know, we know that Aron has this tremendous spirit, and I'm a kindred spirit because I talk a lot too. So, and you can see that Aron always, you can watch the struggle of Aron constantly trying to give people, give the floor to other people, but then wanting to share and always being so full of, and I relate so much to that. So that was so great just to share that. My regret is, like anyone else, is just saying the wow, I just did not get into the gaming thing. I didn't make it in time. I always thought there would be more time, and that's the trouble. We always think that we have more time, and that for me was that was the seventh person who had passed away. I knew was close to at that point. So we lost one of the gentlemen who was on the project Abaddon with us. He died just before Aron, and so we lost somebody that was on our project. So for me, it was like just everything that Yvette said about and Rexa shared about being in the military. I don't know how else to echo any of that, except that I think about it every day.
Okay, well, we're way over time, but before we go, that one of my favorite things that was said was when, Kat, you said that Aron would do that struggle between, he had so many things to say, but he also realized and was trying to let the other person talk. Melissa, you probably saw that like all the time.
Every single day. Every day. But yeah. But he was very conscious of, not over talking. He's like, did I talk too much? Did I steal the microphone? Did everyone get a chance to speak? And he was very conscious of his ability to vocalize.
I wish Aron got into politics, and I think he would have been a great politician. He actually cares about people. He actually listens to your point of view. I think he would have been a good politician.
We talked about that, and people had mentioned you should get into politics, and I agree with him as to why he didn't get into politics, because he's an empath. He was an empath, and so whatever people gave to him, he took that in and absorbed it, and that would be way too stressful for him. Politics
to have that many problems laid on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Eisenberg Lofton 2024, man.
The No J Consortium. Yeah. We're coming back. Don't worry.
Settle for less than the best.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we better run. This went really well. I'm glad everybody was able to make.
I learned a lot about you guys too, man. Thank you for sharing some of those stories, man. I really got to know more about you guys, and that's what we're here for, to learn each other and grow with each other. Yvette, you shared some really interesting stories, kind of give me a better understanding of who you are, and Rex, you opened my eyes to a few things. So I'm just glad that we're all here together and kind of in this journey together.
And I know Aron would be super proud of the legacy that he left with Ryan and Sirach. They're doing such a good job. I love it.
Yeah. Honestly, the people I consider my closest friends right now in my life are you guys from the seventh row. Like, I talk to Homer and John and Amory and Kat all the time on Facebook, and I
Homer is such a chatty Kathy.
I know. But we have a group chat that's all of us, we call it the seventh row chat. It's it's just a group of, I think there's 6 or 7 of us in there. And we just kind of say, hey, how's everybody doing? Talk about the seventh row, talk about Star Trek, hey, did you watch Picard yet? We just kind of hang out. And that's the people that I consider my closest friends right now are the people involved with the seventh row, including Ryan and Sirach.
Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you guys. And, one of the big decisions we had to make when Aron passed was whether we continue to go forward or just let it go there. Right. And I'm glad that we went and kept moving forward, because it's all of us that are getting our own little healing out of this, So thank you to everybody. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Homer. Thanks, Rex. Thanks everybody. Heather, Kat. Everybody's been amazing and supportive, and I couldn't see it any other way. You guys are. I look forward every week to meeting up with you guys and talking Trek.
I think you can say talking trash.
That too.
Also,
you do more of the trash talking.
Yeah, I know. Also, thanks to Homer, I just realized you have that cool Grand Negus staff behind you. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
I brought it back up because of the drawing.
Yeah, he busted it out.
Oh, that's why I didn't notice.
See that?
Such a good drawing.
Compare.
And Rex has the Defiant. This was the Defiant's very first appearance.
Absolutely.
Very apropos. And also special thanks to Melissa, because whether she realizes it or not, she's kind of like, our light, our little guiding light, and we really appreciate that.
And a symbol for strength too, as well, because you've been very strong throughout all this, and we appreciate that, you being strong for us.
Aw, thanks.
It gives us another look at the other side of Aron too, having you on, having
absolutely.
those little tidbits to share.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although next time we want to see Mochi the cat make an appearance.
Yeah.
Go get him.
I won't ask sports questions. Learn my lesson there.
Yeah, no more sports questions.
It's fine. I'm ready to talk baseball.
Okay.
Next week, not this time. Not this time.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. We got much more to talk about, so we will in future episodes. And for everybody at home, thank you all for doing this journey with us. Here comes season 3 coming at you. And always remember the 7th rule.